What is going on, Nav Nation, and welcome back to another video. Over the last year and a half, I have put out over 200 videos on the topic of investing in Pokemon cards and how to do so successfully. And still to this day, I receive questions from members of the community on how they should best approach this topic of investing in Pokemon cards. So for one of my last videos here on the channel, I thought I would go ahead and put together a comprehensive step-by-step guide on the best way, in my opinion, to invest in this hobby. And for each of these steps, I've also included my favorite video that I've produced on the channel for that very topic. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this ultimate beginner's guide for successfully investing in Pokemon cards. So as you know, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, my background is in finance. I am a former financial advisor, and I really tried to construct this step-by-step guide in the same manner that I would put something together for a client sitting down in front of me that I am constructing a portfolio for and a template for long-term financial success. And as I said, with each of these steps that we're going to go over here today, I've also included down in the video description below the corresponding video that I would also refer to get more information on that very topic. So here we go. Step number one, and this is absolutely foundational. Understand your budget and how much you are going to allocate to investing in Pokemon cards. Now, Pokemon cards as a whole are considered an alternative investment. And what I mean by that, in the same manner that you would invest in something like gold, silver, cryptocurrency, fine art, Pokemon cards are in that same category as an alternative investment. And first off, you need to understand how much of an allocation that is going to take up in your overall portfolio. So your other stocks, your bonds, your real estate, all of those different investments out there, how much is Pokemon cards going to take up in that overall pie? You then need to understand, once you've got that designation, let's say that it's going to be 5% of your overall portfolio, you can then understand how much money you're going to allocate to this hobby. And this will be really important because it keeps you on track and it keeps you within your budget. So if you say, Pokemon cards, I'm not going to spend any more than $200 a month or $10,000 a month, whatever it is, you want to stick within that budget, and you want to make sure that you are sticking to that being a particular allocation of your overall portfolio, because then things can get really screwy if you're spending too much on Pokemon cards, not enough in other areas, or vice versa. And I've actually created 2 videos that go into great detail on how to budget for Pokemon cards, different tactics and strategies that you can use for building capital for Pokemon cards. So be sure to go ahead and check those down in the video description, because again, those will go into more detail. But again, this foundational step here, you have to understand first and foremost how much of an allocation Pokemon cards is going to take in your overall portfolio. Step number 2, understand your level of risk and time horizon. This is perhaps one of the most looked over aspects of the entire Pokemon investing world, and one that I don't hear talked about enough. So what do I mean by that? Level of risk and time horizon. Well, for risk, that is the amount of risk that you are willing to take for the added reward. So when I would sit down with a client, this is one of the first things that we would go over to understand where on a particular spectrum they fall. And typically that falls somewhere between very conservative and very aggressive. And we also tailor products to that particular client's investing style and their level of risk. And if you guys, again, want to check out a video that goes into great detail on this topic, I've included that down in the video description. And what you may find is that although you think that you're a very aggressive type of investor, you naturally gravitate to more conservative type of investments. So for instance, a very conservative type of investment, in my opinion, would be modern sealed booster boxes, especially if you've been purchasing those for under MSRP. I find them very conservative because I find it highly unlikely that they will fall below that price point as the years go along, whereas something that could be very aggressive could be modern full art graded cards. You see a lot of fluctuation there. Or as you go back to vintage cards of Unlimited, especially as you go down in condition to PSA 6, PSA 5, PSA 7 even, those type of products generally fluctuate in price very frequently. And so all in all, you have to understand where you fall on that spectrum. The other important aspect is time horizon. How long do you anticipate before before you expect to sell that particular product. Now, if you're a collector, this really doesn't have any bearing on you because you're just going to hold it forever. But for people who are investing, people who are flipping, there is going to be a certain time horizon when they expect to sell that product. Is it going to be a year or less? Is it going to be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line? This also plays into the type of investments that you're getting into. So if you plan on holding something for, let's say, 10 years or more, then you could probably take a little more risk on that product in the beginning, because chances are over that 10-year period, that product will have enough time to allow it to appreciate. Whereas if you plan on flipping something in a year or less, then that product is probably going to fluctuate a lot in that period of time, and you may suffer more of a loss in that time frame. So again, these two aspects, risk tolerance, time horizon, so crucial to understanding what your particular investing style is and the type of products that you should be getting into. So now that you know how much you're going to be allocating to Pokemon cards, where that falls in your overall portfolio, and you also understand your risk tolerance and your time horizon, you can now begin to start to construct your overall portfolio. And what I mean by that, when you start to look at Pokemon cards as a whole, if you understand that you are, let's say, a conservative type of investor, then chances are the majority of your portfolio is going to be composed of conservative type of investments. So that could be modern sealed booster boxes, and then maybe a small allocation is then designated for more risky type of investments. So we're talking about graded card, lower end vintage graded cards, or even higher end modern graded cards as well. Those type of products that do have a lot of fluctuation. Maybe that only encompasses 10-20% of your portfolio, and then 80% is composed of those more conservative type of investments. And if you're more aggressive, then obviously that's going to be vice versa. And also, if your time horizon is longer, then your portfolio is obviously going to look a lot different. And I've got another great video, again, down in the video description. You guys can check that out, on how you can compose a portfolio around Pokemon in a similar manner that somebody would compose a portfolio in the regular financial markets. Step number 4, put together a plan of execution. Now that you've completed all of the foundational level steps, it's time for the rubber to meet the road. And one of the best ways to understand how you're going to accumulate and bring together all of these products for your overall portfolio is to also create a business. Now, there's a lot of people out there that tell you not to mix business with pleasure, or to even create a business for this hobby. But what I have found is creating a business actually helps you to, one, separate the two, separate pleasure and separate business / investing. So I would also recommend create a business, create a separate checking account, business checking account, a business credit card, what have you. Create a business for your investing side of Pokemon. That'll help delineate the two in your mind and will make it much easier for tax purposes as well. The other nice benefit about creating a business is that it allows you to create capital for your investments. So Pokemon is very broad, and there's a lot of opportunities out there beyond just actually acquiring products for investing purposes. You can flip products, you can create a business selling products on the secondary market. But unless you have that actual business entity, one, people aren't really going to take you that seriously, and two, it's just not going to give you the full range of benefits, tax benefits, and the like that would come about by having a business. Now, I've got 3 videos on this topic that you guys can check out. One of the most popular videos on this channel is actually on this topic of creating a Pokemon cards investing business. So be sure that you check out all 3 of those, especially the last one, because that includes a lot of great other people in the hobby that have created investing businesses, flipping businesses, and the like around the Pokemon hobby. So those are all great videos to check out. And this is ultimately going to help you in creating that capital so that you can acquire all of the products that you need for your overall portfolio. Step number 5, use solid data to track your investments and the performance of your portfolio. It doesn't do you any good to invest in this hobby unless you know where you stand and where you're going. You wouldn't invest in the stock market without understanding how your investments are performing, and it's no different here in Pokemon. Now, here a few years ago, this was actually a pretty difficult task to do. You had to comb through eBay listings, you had to track a lot of this data yourself. There really wasn't a lot of great resources out there to help you track your overall investment portfolio, but I would highly recommend checking out the 2 videos down below on this topic. Those come from pokedata.io. The guys have created a fantastic website, the absolute best one that I've ever found for tracking your overall portfolio, whether that be your collection, your investments, what have you. It really operates like a standard stock market analytics tool, and I would highly recommend doing that. Put all of your investment data in there, your purchase price, your sold price, all of those different things. It gives you the return on investment, all of the various different data points that you need to really be successful in this hobby. And the final step, step number 6, continue to expand your knowledge of the hobby and stay up to date on the market. Once you've got everything set up, you've got your template, your blueprint, you understand all of these different facets that we've discussed previously, the next big hurdle is to try to stay up to date on this ever-changing Pokemon card hobby. It fluctuates from day to day, from year to year, and it's going to be crucial to you to stay up to date with that, to understand where opportunities lie and when it might be time to get out of certain areas and to get into others. Now, you can always check out various channels here on YouTube, and I also have a full playlist, a Pokemon Market Watch playlist, which I did put down in the video description for this topic that you guys can check out a lot of those videos as well. There's also a lot of other great channels out there that I would check out. Something like Danny Phantom, who talks about a lot of the behind the scenes price fluctuations, things coming from distributors, and a lot of that back end type of stuff. Pokenomics is also great. There's a ton of good channels out there that I would definitely check out. And then also utilize the various resources that you have at your disposal. Look at eBay analytics. You could look at pokedata.io. Look at Pokemon Price. Those are all great resources to really keep you up to date with where things are going and how you should rebalance and perhaps change your portfolio as things go along. So there you have it, guys. This is my step-by-step guide to successfully investing in the Pokemon card hobby, and this is really a summation of this channel in general. I would highly recommend checking out all of those various videos down below for more information on each of these topics, because those will really go into much more detail on everything that we've discussed here today. And be sure to check out all of the other great channels out there on this topic of investing in Pokemon cards. Things have changed a lot over the last year and a half, and they're going to continue to change even more as we move into next year. And it's been such a pleasure being able to bestow a lot of you this information, things that I've experienced over the last 5 years that I've been in the hobby, and being able to help as many people as I can. And I just truly appreciate all of your support over this last year and a half, and I truly hope that I've done good to the community and to you as the Nav Nation. Other than that, guys, I will see you in the last video here on the channel. That will be tomorrow, Friday, December 31st, for the last video here on PokeNav. Other than that, guys, I will see you all next time. My name is PokeNav. I'm here to help you navigate the world of Pokemon one video at a time, and I will see you all in the last video.